Hi guys, it's Crimson Butterfly here for Together We Are Wednesdays. This week's topic is the media's impact on eating disorders. And I hear it a lot of the time that people tend to blame the media for people developing eating disorders or young girls developing eating disorders, and I think it's a bit stupid to just turn around and say, well, the media is to blame, because eating disorders are far more complex than just, and they're not caused by one thing. I mean, I know there's a lot of varieties in how people develop eating disorders, but seeing thin people or emaciated people on TV or in magazines or in movies won't make someone have an eating disorder, because if that was the case, then the entire world would have an eating disorder, because if by just looking at an image you'd get an eating disorder, it's just stupid. It's a lot more complicated than just saying that the media is to blame. I know a lot of people seem to think that the media glamorizes eating disorders or people with emaciated bodies and stuff. They always seem to be the ones that are in the movies or getting songs out there or on the TV or anything. People always say that, it's because they're thin that they get it, and I think it's even though I understand that in the media there is a certain focus on a person's appearance, because that's the way the media is. It's very shallow, I find, but I don't think that is necessarily going to make someone have an eating disorder, because when someone develops an eating disorder, it's not just a simple process of you see a thin person, you want to be thin, so you develop an eating disorder to be thin, because that's what everyone wants. Eating disorders are far more complicated than that and have a lot of different, it's usually caused by a trigger, stressful event, and a lot of the times it's not even about your appearance or how you look, or even your size. An eating disorder, yes, I think people should need to view that an eating disorder, someone's the way they eat or their body size and shape, and and them restricting their food or whatever to lose weight is a symptom of something else. The person is trying to say, I need help a lot of the times, and it's not necessarily just about wanting to be thin. That's like I said, it's more of a symptom of an issue that person is having, as opposed to that's the main focus. A lot of times people focus on their body and their food as a means of control or to deal with other things that are happening around them. So it's not the media to blame. And I know a lot of times there's a lot of things about in fashion, how models are too thin, or they're saying that they look anorexic, or they're not going to they're not going to have models below a certain BMI or a certain size, or if they look too thin. And I don't think that is actually going to stop people from developing eating disorders just by not showing as thin a model. People have, for many years, even before the models were, or celebrities were getting thinner and thinner and size 0 and all that kind of stuff, people were still developing eating disorders. So I don't think that just by banning certain sizes or, you know, certain weights or BMIs or whatever is going to make that much of a difference. Because like I said, you don't, just by looking at, you know, a picture of a thin person is not going to make you develop an eating disorder, because in everyday life we are all constantly bombarded with images of people, and, you know, how we should and shouldn't look and what we should and shouldn't be doing. So if everyone across the world is bombarded by images of this, then, you know, and that if people are saying, well, media, because they show images of really thin people, that's why people develop eating disorders, then everyone would have developed one, rather than, you know, certain people developing one, because it's not just you see thin people therefore you are going to develop an eating disorder. Has far more complicated origins than that. So that was the topic of the week. The question of the week is your favourite holiday. My favourite holiday. I have two, really. It depends. My favourite holiday is actually Halloween, and it's not really as celebrated much in the UK as it is in sorry, the cat just scratched me. As I see in America, it's much more of a bigger celebration. So, like I said, in the UK, we tend not to be quite as, and people are more now, but like, it's not a huge celebration. But me and my friend, we really, really love Halloween. We always dress up. In fact, we don't even need an excuse to dress up half the time. We just like on each other's birthdays when we go out, we always have a theme. Actually, I'm not doing anything for my birthday this year, which is on Sunday. So yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing on my birthday, but on her birthday, we're doing superheroes, I think. I haven't decided what I'm doing. Her birthday's not until September, so I've got plenty of time to decide. So yeah, that's like Halloween, and I love horror movies. I really, really do love horror movies. I think Michelle was saying in her video about loving horror movies too, so I totally understand. I find it quite amusing that a lot of people, when they're sort of like talking to me and stuff, and they're like, oh, I bet you like chick flicks and stuff like that, and I don't really. They're not my favourite kind of movies. My favourite ones are horror movies and action films and things like that. So yeah, I love it when it gets to Halloween and you start seeing, like, you know, horror movies, you know, on the TV advertised, or just like getting all my DVDs out and like having a horror movie marathon and stuff like that. The other holiday that I do like is Christmas, but more for the fact that of the family aspect of it. You know, I usually go around to my mum's, and obviously having my niece now as well, I just love going to see her on Christmas Day. There is something wonderful about seeing like a child opening their presents, and, you know, the happiness on their face. They don't even have to say anything to you, and you can tell they are like really, really happy. And she's at that age where she actually likes the presents. When she was younger, she could just sit there and play with the wrapping paper all day. It was really amusing, or the box, as opposed to the actual present. But now obviously she loves the presents that she gets, and yeah, kids just love Christmas, and, you know, so yeah, so that more of the family aspect and spending time with people, and getting time off work is always an advantage at Christmas time. So yes, that's the end of this video, and I shall see you next week. Bye.